Closing any licensed facilities at all.
You know, the bill has carved into it, and what the gentleman said, with respect, that Alabama has not yet developed a program with the sex offenders that it says working treatment. So looking forward as proposed backward, the bill has carved exceptions for a licensed halfway house. Any facility that is licensed by the state that says we have a proven treatment program is exempt from this bill. So all we have to do is, again, for all these different things that are saying are available right now that do work. If we get Alabama to approve these and say they do, then they're exempt from this bill. And also I'm saying this to my colleague Representative King. I didn't carve out any exceptions for any places. I do realize there are some big cities here in Alabama, Birmingham, Montgomery, who may have some hotels with a bunch of sex offenders living in them. Okay, and I understand that can be a problem. So I would say to you, if you'd like to, I'll be the one happy to entertain an amendment to my bill to carve out your city, say a class 2 city, an exempt this bill or whatever, if that's what you want to do. But I'm not going to do to you what's being done to me, and that's everybody sitting everybody in my county.
All right.
Great point. Jefferson County actually passed a bill 3 years ago that had limited, I think it limits to 2 unrelateds now. So I mean everybody's trying to find a different way to deal with it. Most cities adopt ordinances now that push sex offenders out to the county. Unfortunately, counties don't have home rules, so they can't necessarily make the same regulations. But if you really think about it, they did. And this may be something that everybody wants. They'll lose Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi. But ultimately, they'll end up being homeless, and you won't know where any of them are. And that's more dangerous than having them clustered in the same place where you know exactly where they are.
All right.
My name is Atia Holly, and I'm a staff attorney with the Southern Center for Human Rights and nonprofit Logue in Atlanta. We work on criminal justice issues both in Georgia as well as in Alabama, and we appear before the Alabama Parole Board quite frequently. No one disagrees that our first and foremost priority should be to protect our children. While HB 85 was drafted with that objective in mind, I created it today to discuss how that bill, if passed, falls short of that goal for 2 reasons. 1, the bill will be unworkable for law enforcement, and 2, it will do very little for the public safety. This bill will create a huge burden for law enforcement. It is one thing to prohibit sex offenders from living near schools, if the schools stay in one place. Not so with people. This bill will force law enforcement to follow thousands of people around the state with a measuring tape as they move from one place to another, trying to find a place that complies with the law. People on the registry, as you know, are often transient, and because of the existing 2,000-foot restriction, don't have anywhere to go. It will take a huge amount of law enforcement resources to ensure that people are living over 500 feet from the next person. And these kinds of calculations will drive manpower and time away from responding to 911 calls or performing crime investigations. And I'll give Georgia as an example. Georgia passed a similar law in 2006 that would have severely restricted where sex offenders could live, and the law enforcement response was almost uniform. While many people thought the law was well-intentioned, they thought the law was unenforceable and unworkable. One officer said, "I'm all for having a tough sex offender law, but we want something that's enforceable and that doesn't strap our resources." Another person says, "People having a hard time will have a hard time complying with this law. They'll stop registering, and that defeats pretty much the whole point of having a registry in the first place." It is not a stretch to say that HB 85, if passed here, will have the same effect in Georgia or in Alabama. Finally, I just want to say that the next problem with HB 85 is that it won't further public safety. The consensus among researchers and forensic scientists is that instability, whether it's residential or employment-based, triggers recidivism. And residence restrictions, as are already in place here in Alabama, are simply not a feasible strategy to address or prevent child abuse. So I just ask the committee to vote no on HB 85 and to focus its energies on a concern that seems to be repeated consistently today, with making sure that people have an adequate place to stay where they can get treatment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The public hearing is finished, and thank you very much, Mr. Wallace, Representative Wallace, for bringing your bill today. Thank you very much. Next bill.